Charles Welde, thank you so much, my friend, for joining me on the Vengreso Customer Testimonial as a social selling boot camp graduate, my friend.
That's right. That's right. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Well, I'm excited to have you here on this testimonial video. Now, you're out in right outside of Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Is it where are you at? Bloomington?
We're in Bloomington, Illinois. We're about 2 hours south of Chicago, right by Illinois State University.
Okay. And you are the general manager over the Bloomington Edge indoor football organization, correct?
Yes, sir. Professional indoor football. We're in the CIF, Champions Indoor Football League.
I love it. And you actually had a chance to join the Vengreso social selling boot camp that happened recently in the last couple of months. You were a graduate, like we said. When you came into this boot camp, first off, were you utilizing LinkedIn as a way to communicate with your targeted audience, partners, employees, and or customers?
Not really. I mean, at the time I might have said I was, but now looking back on what I've learned, no. I had a profile, I had a picture on it. That's about it. You know?
Yeah. Now you and I met. I was actually a speaker at the ALSD conference, and we were standing in line together talking. Where were we at? We were at the stadium, a tour.
Yeah, we're at the Dolphin Stadium.
Yeah, the Dolphin Stadium. And I somehow jumped into line with you. We started chit-chatting and having a discussion about what I was talking about. I invited you to join. You joined. Tell me, were you skeptical of whether or not this would be of value to you, joining the 4-week-long virtual boot camp?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think some of it has to do with the amount of noise that's out there, people kind of hawking their wares. But it definitely helped that we got to meet in person. Plus, I got to see you speak. That had a lot to do with it. But yeah, I was skeptical about it. But I also knew that this is the new frontier, and I can't pass it up. You got to be involved. You got to be involved in social, and you have to have a good strategy to do it, even individually.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, when you started the program, what exactly did you learn first that you were like, wow, this is good? I mean, I think you mentioned something about you spent a lot of time on session number 1, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I did. I watched session 1 live, and then I got the link where I could rewatch it. And I ended up watching it 4 or 5 times just on how to build out your profile. And I didn't think about all those things in there, having the proper words in there, and all the things you could do. I mean, I picked a picture I liked, not a picture that was trying to relay a certain message. And I put right under my picture, it just said my position like everyone else. It didn't have any buzzwords in there. So I worked on that, and it took me a while just to write that part. Then I started getting into my work history and thought, man, there's a lot of opportunities here for me to kind of sell myself and my background. And then I took a whole new approach to that profile. And I'm still working on it. I mean, I work on it, try to review it, quite a bit just to keep tweaking it till it gets there.
Yeah. And then you were also went through the following weeks, which was learning how to connect, learning how to engage, learning how to share content. And I'm going to get to the content piece because that one's actually the one that jumps out the most in terms of what you're doing. But learning how to engage and learning how to connect. Did you learn how to properly engage with potential buyers, partners, others in your network that you can network with? And did we teach you how to connect well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've the number of connections I have, I was probably around 50 or 60. I'm well over 200 in just a couple of weeks. And they're not just random people connecting. The big thing was, which I never really thought about, was when you send that connect invitation to customize it. I didn't do that. I just sent the standard everyone else does. Now I look into their profile, I find some common ground, and then I have some messages that I'll write and send out there. Hey, I saw that you did this, and so did I. That's cool. I'd like to learn more about it. Or if it's someone in your same field, hey, I saw this one thing you're doing. I really like it. And once I started doing the custom messages and reading people's profiles, instead of just saying, hey, this guy looks important, I'll link, reading about them and learning about them, it changes. Because not only do you connect, typically they follow up with dialogue, because they're going to connect and then they're going to respond to you. Instead of just saying yes, they're going to respond to you and say, oh, hey, I saw you did this. And now you open a dialogue, and now you can, maybe it's a prospect or maybe it's someone that you're going to learn from. So it's really enriches being on LinkedIn and what you get out of it.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you told me that there was a story that there was a partner that you you had not been connected with, they weren't too happy about something, and this was an opportunity for you to be able to connect with the partner when you reached out and to fix some of the things that needed to be fixed, right?
Yeah, and so when I first started doing LinkedIn, I was thinking about, okay, I'm going to find all new connections. It's going to be awesome. And then as I was getting into it, I started thinking about, well, maybe I should also be connecting with people I have personal relationships with. So I started connecting with our business partners that are sponsors of ours here at the Edge. That they do advertisements at our games, things like that, just to connect and learn more about them. And as some of these conversations opened, one individual brought up that there was a couple of things they really didn't like about what was done in the previous year, and they wanted to know if we could redo our relationship, change our package. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. But I never would have known that unless we connected, had some meaningful dialogue, and kind of got to it. Because when we meet in person, it was in the office, very business-like, and we just never got that personal side of it. So that was pretty valuable for us. We almost lost a client, and then instead we have a stronger one, and we actually got a little more money out of the deal this second time around.
I love it. That's exactly what we want to hear. Now, moving on into the fourth week, we were talking about engaging with content and really using content to drive your network. And we did not teach this in the boot camp, but it was all about leveraging video. And you on your own started, as a result of us talking about how to use content. We talked about using video. We talked about creating multimedia. We talked about blogs, articles, those types of things. You on your own has gone out there without any of our Vengreso training on the boot camp and started creating video content and started producing engagement by different folks, correct?
Absolutely. When we started talking, when you and I talked about it, you covered it quite a bit, when you were the speaker. And then when we've been watching the boot camp, throwing the stats out of how much more likes you're getting with the video, even a 1-minute video versus a post, and how to which really allowed us to separate ourselves. We're getting way more engagement. And we're sending videos out from these little 1-minute videos and things we do from our community engagement. And people are calling us and emailing us and telling us, hey, I saw this. It's really neat. Or, hey, thank you so much for doing this. It's really, really accelerated the reach and the branding that we're trying to accomplish.
I love it. And what do you want people to do if they are out in your neck of the woods, out in Bloomington, Illinois, and they're looking for a great spot to be able to build relationships, to host an event, to host a gathering of employees, people, personnel, family, friends, whatever it might be? What do you want people to do? Should they reach out to you and contact you?
Absolutely. I mean, we're very open door policy, man. You can call my office number, which is 484-840-3343. And that actually gets sent to my cell if no one answers. So, I mean, people sometimes are surprised when I tell them, yeah, I'm the GM. They're like, oh, I was just trying to call the office. I'm like, no, call and talk to me directly, but let me problem solve. We have our website is www.bloomingtonedge.net. You can reach us through there. Right now, we're in a heavy sales period. We have a couple sponsorship packages left. We've sold a lot. We have a couple left, and we're starting to really pound season tickets and flex packages and things like that. So, man, the games are a lot of fun. If you've never been, you got to come out to one game. If you come to one, you're gonna come to more. They're a blast.
I love it, and I'm so excited that you gleaned so much from the social selling boot camp from Vengreso. And don't forget to make sure you put on your certificate of completion onto your profile. And last question, is it up there? I missed it. All right, we'll make it up there. Fantastic. Last question I have for you is, if someone's considering whether or not they should join the boot camp and they're going to learn anything from it, would you recommend it?
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, I really was skeptical about it, but that's where business is happening. It's all happening right there. And how many deals would it take for you to make on LinkedIn to cover the cost? For most of us, it's one, right? Yeah. So if you got one deal, one connection, one thing out of it, it's going to more than cover the cost. Yeah, I learned a lot out of it. And if I had to do it all over again, I definitely would. So I recommend it for sure.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to having you potentially in one of our other advanced training courses. And bringing you into the next set of training. So Charles, thank you so much. And for anybody who's looking for a great spot to host an event at out there in Bloomington, Illinois, make sure you reach out to Charles Welde, and you can find him on LinkedIn as well with the Bloomington Edge or Indoor Football League. I'll talk to you soon, Charles. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you.